I'm Sarek, aka Unique. I've been in the scene since the early 80s, and I'm your MC for this documentary. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Sydney hip-hop culture. It's not the stereotype you think it is, of kids wearing baseball caps backwards. It's a real culture. We live it and breathe it every day. The basic equipment for hip-hop is 4 elements: MC, DJ, graffiti writing, and breakdancing. The MC is basic equipment.
What we always do is grab the microphone, talk facts, especially in Sydney hip-hop, you know, that's important, so we keep it real.
The breakdancer is basic equipment.
Skills, stunts, tricks, falls, bruises, you know, you name it. Break's got the lot. It's everything, isn't it? It's like you're doing stuff that people would never imagine could be done.
The DJ is basic equipment.
I'm not a musician, I'm a beat magician. Casting spells on 12s is my mission.
The graffiti writer is basic equipment.
I'm gonna be painting when I'm fucking 60, 70 till I die, I don't give a fuck.
But first up, the MC. You might know him as the rapper, the master of ceremony. He's the one with the power of the spoken word.
The MC's the journalist, the poet, rhymer and storyteller, proclaimer of the vendetta. And nothing sounds finer than a sharp freestyler. MCs know when to rock it and reveal like a prophet. MCs, we use our voice as the medium. The people, we start feeding them with information to be free again. Yeah, we're leading them to see again. Correct MCs elevate mind states just like helium. Life of the party, give us sustenance, sustain like Kellogg's. And that's why I'll be busting this. Slickism represents the real, fake MCs. I killed the skillless, I live ruleless when I do this.
Well, my name's Slick the Elite, and I hail from Eastwood in Sydney. You could probably call that the inner western suburbs. And my original background is Lebanese. Slick the Elite because I'm sleek, slicker than sleek, and I'm the elite. Grabbing a microphone till you can't compete. For the blacks in America, you know, it was a music for the minority. It was an expression of people that were in misery, humiliated, being prejudiced. I could relate to the same sort of oppression, like being called a wog in school, you know, being the minority, being the underdog, having to come up all the time, having a fight, just on a smaller level, fighting for your rights, you know, every day.
The MC's the journalist, the poet, rhymer.
Well, I've done a little short rap about MCing. The MC is the poet, rhymer, storyteller.
We use our voice as the medium.
So when I rap, I talk about being a wog, having wog parents, growing up, the shit we go through in Sydney, the coppers, the government, the racism, the fun, the good, the bad, the partying, everything. For me, that's keeping it real. That's a representation of what I am and what I stand for. I don't know, I think the hip-hop heads in Sydney, they mightn't be black, but they're rap naturals, you know?
Step back, step back, step back, step back, it's a funnel web attack. Step back, step back, step back, step back, it's a funnel web attack. Yo, sucker, it's a funnel web attack. Hey, sucker, it's a funnel web attack. Yo, dickhead, it's a funnel web attack. Yo, sucker, it's a funnel web attack.
My name is Paul Skibberus, also known as Case, and also known as Funnel Web as an MC.
Funnel web, funnel web, funnel web, funnel web, funnel web, funnel web.
So what we're talking about in Funnel Web Productions, which really means fuck well power, is all about the bullshit that everybody knows but is scared to talk about. So we're doing the talking for them.
Stop! Now take a look around. Cannot escape, no exits are found.
This is a place down here where we express ourselves through graph, a place where we can relax, you know what I mean, and not have any worries about being seen by the police and that. And we're just trying to make it look a bit better, you know what I mean, than just like a load of crap they looked like before. Now a lot of junkies used to come down here before and shoot up and that, and we're trying to get rid of all that crap, you know what I mean?
Coming out of my grave, I wasn't born to behave, I wasn't born a slave, but I was born to save mankind. As I take us through a new time, of course, I've got the soul force.
I've tried alcohol, I've tried smoking marijuana to get a high off life, but now I don't even need that shit because I just got the hip hop and that's my drug, you know. I don't need that kind of shit. I've got good friends and shit like that.
Young kids that used to steal cars and take drugs and stuff, I get them into rhyming, I get them into scratching, into writing, breakdancing, you know, graph, the whole works, you know what I mean?
They're feeling good about themselves most of all, because that good shit comes out of it.
About 6 months ago, like, I was knocking off cars, you know, 20 cars a week. But now, you know, like, I've got another family because I've never had a family. My parents left me when I was 1. And, you know, since I've met Paul, Case, it's changed my life, you know. I haven't knocked off cars, haven't done this, haven't done that, you know. It's just fully changed my life, and just hip-hop rules, mate.
You asked us how we use hip-hop to fight the system. Well, being original fights the system itself, because you haven't been trimmed down as a character.
Come a little closer, let me tell you something. I'll put it in a riddle while these beats are bumping. I'm talking low so no one else can hear, cause we got a plan that's underground, they might fear. People like us who they call rebels and rejects, but really we got freedom of rights and to protect. Instead they give you freedom of speech so they know your inner thoughts.
I don't teach people how to rap, I bring out what they already have. And I'll sit there talking to them for about an hour about their life or what goes on, whatever, and I'll say, that's it. That's what you got to talk about in your rapping.
I'm 20 now, probably from about the age of 12 to about 19 or so, that I've spent a lot of time in psychiatric wards and sort of asylums and things because I couldn't go with the system, but I didn't understand why, and I was told that I was crazy and stuff, and people hear my rhymes and stuff and they think that's crazy shit, but then they got to listen deeper to hear the message.
Lowering myself down to the mic by a single word, a word, miraculous body with a fucking answer. Somebody grafted on, now I was born warm. The perfect example of a deadly new high, but a revolution.
I probably for about a year I just spent in bed, just depression, just a whole year in pretty much in bed. And now I'm doing every day. I get out and I love living life, and I just that's thanks to Case and that, you know, and the Funnel Web crew.
Step back, step back, step back, step back, it's a Funnel Web attack. Step back, step back, step back, step back, it's a Funnel Web attack.
I'd like to say a message out to all you hip-hoppers out there. This is the only thing we've got on the street that's fucking really ours, and we can't let it be systemised like everything else, because once they get a grip of it, they'll bring it into schools, and then, like, you know, they're bullshit, you got to pay for this, pay for that. This is the only thing that we've got left that is completely ours.
Pure self-expression.
So let's keep it real, eh?
FWB Army, FWB Army.
The system called it breakdancing. Molly Meldrum labelled it rap dancing. We call it b-boying or b-girling. In hip-hop, it gets big respect. It's probably one of the most hardest forms of dancing in the world.
B-boy, aka breaker, get it fat-laced, ready for battle replay. Street fighting with skills in real type, for working freezes, kung fu battle type stances. Breaking, the Lord of Four dances, one of the 4 elements that make up the hip-hop culture. So how could it ever just be a fad, you jack? B-boy, spin like a tornado, then freeze like a sculpture. Yes, yes, or gather round, pull open circle, watch us enter the center and go buckle with atomic drops, rocks, turtle hops, and you don't stop. Props to the real to keep it straight.
Yeah, word up, Death Wish from Kilowatts, aka Convoy 31, Sydney, Melbourne, hip-hop connection. It's 15 years now, still at it, still breaking, painting and rapping, just living the b-boy life, straight up.
One of the 4 elements that make up the hip-hop culture.
Being a breaker myself, just wanted to remind people what breaking is about. It's a very strong battle type dance, but at the same time it is fun, you know what I mean? When I first started doing it in 6th grade, not a lot of people knew what hip-hop was. When I went into a school talent quest type thing in 6th grade, I come out breaking and rapping, and like probably only a couple of people in the whole school had seen this type of thing before, so the whole place freaked out. In '84 it was large. A couple of years later, a lot of people stopped doing it and a lot of people called it a fad. I didn't stop doing it because I knew that breaking is one of the 4 elements of the hip-hop culture. You're gonna stop breaking, call breaking a fad, you're calling the whole hip-hop culture a fad.
So how could it ever just be a fad, you jack?
Yeah, of course it started in America, but why can't it go worldwide? Why can't we have people in every country representing it? The thing that is unique about the Australian hip-hop culture, especially in the rapping, is things like we can rap with an Australian accent and express that Australian accent, and which straight away makes you original from any other rapper in the world.
Keep it street.
Keep it street style, man, you know what I mean? People love that shit. Get technical with it, you know what I mean? Get the footwork happening. Try and be original, try and even get your own moves. Keep your breaking directed at the street audience. Don't sell that shit out, man. Don't start adding other shit into it, you know, like crossing it over with other types of dances. I'm happy keeping it street, man. I don't want to make money from that, you know? If I want to make money from dance, I go to jazz ballet or something.
Okay, I'm C's and exit. Well, the DJ used to play a break, which was like a sample to play a break, different, maybe a tune from somewhere, or a breakdown, a particular break of a track would be a segment of the track that would be known as a break, and when the DJ played that break, then the guys would break. When I saw it, I was just so in love with it, and I mean, I've always been active, so with my brother here, it had that sort of raw, rough sort of credibility to it. It wasn't something that was tacky and commercialised. Today, in the 90s, it's come back and it's gained its respect again. It's people are seeing that it's been around and it still is around, it just wasn't a fad. You're doing stuff that people would never imagine could be done. In our time, we've just mostly concentrated on the power moves. Power moves. Breaking has all raw elements, and there's nothing really that can be bought and sold. You know, no kid can become, you know, break boy or whatever because there's nothing he can more or less buy. You know, it's all raw elements. You don't need anything. All you need is a bit of cardboard and yourself, your tracksuit or whatever, and throw yourself on the ground. So it wasn't. With snowboarding and skateboarding, you need the wheels and the skateboards and the decks, and you know, you can look this image by buying these things. And with breaking, it's all raw materials.
Hip-hop's come a long way since the early 80s. Back then, there's a lot of conflicts with police, skins, punks, riders hanging on the streets, train stations. Today, it's more organised, and when we get together, it's usually at our own jams.
Well, if it wasn't for the DJ, hip-hop probably would not have emerged. Playing records for the people, providing solace away from the world. Moving the record back and forth, the scratch is born. Pitch the control, manipulating sound. Positive 8 to speed it up, and negative 8 slows it down. Who wears the crown? Too many cut masters. Creating, innovating with body tricks. Turntablism, elevating the art form. Maestros orchestrating, swirling up a storm. One playing the beat, one playing the horn. One with the bass line, ripping it up till it's torn.
Okay, my name's MC Trey. Stands for the Rhyming Edifying Young'un, and that's what I plan to do through hip-hop. Being a female, I think, could be a lot. I could use it to my advantage, you know, in more physical terms, but I choose not to because I think you just play yourself out, and I'd prefer to use the mental to elevate myself because there's too many, you know, women doing that. What attracts me to hip-hop culture is the fact that it is actually a culture, and it's got 4 elements that you can express yourself through. I'm from the islands, Fiji, and I can, you know, relate the turntable to, you know, a lali, which was like a traditional Fijian drum. Or, you know, the aerosol art to like cave paintings. The emceeing to like, you know, my great-grandfathers speaking around the carver bowl, emceeing, or, you know, talking. And the breakdancing, you know, similar to traditional dances, Indigenous dances. There's a lot of different multicultural backgrounds within hip-hop. You go to other jams and you only see like a particular race or whatever, but you come to a hip-hop jam and you can guarantee that there's like every nationality. All these kids come from different countries, or their parents have, and they come together and they're able to like exchange, find out more about each other. If Pauline Hanson would come down and see what was happening here, I think she'd be changing her speeches. We'd probably even get her to rap.
Well, if it wasn't for the DJ, hip-hop probably would not have emerged.
The rhyme that I did was about DJing, and it was actually just showing people that weren't necessarily exposed to the art form of DJing, or turntablism as we now know it. Turntablism is the art of actually making music with the turntable.
is it? We're the Crossfader Raiders. I'm DJ ASK and this is DJ Bones. And we're coming straight out of Concord West. What we're about is actually taking a DJ, which is a disc jockey, which type you'll find in a club, but swing it around and do tricks and make it more of a visual type of thing than just someone to come and listen to. Okay, the basis of a hip-hop DJ is basically using two of the same records and breaking it down. So we're going to use two of the same records and break it down. Break it down. We use records like Benny Hill record or a kid's record and then put some old soul beats under it. It's just like experimentation. The bits that work we keep and the bits that don't we just throw away. What attracted me was first, I went to a party and no one turned up except for the DJ. So me and my friend, we just ended up DJing and got the bug.
This DJ got a monster dome.
People say DJs, they freak out on the techniques, on the MCing, the breakdancing, all that stuff.
It's still new to a lot of people out there. That's why still a lot of people haven't been introduced to it, but they've seen it on, say, movies or on TV. And basically, I think these days it's the clothes and the style. Everyone wants the style and the attitude. But if you're going to wear the stuff and listen to the stuff, why don't come and support the real stuff? Yeah. We've been doing it for over 10 years now. It's got its own identity, its own flavour, its own Australian flavour of hip-hop. It comes down to more than music. It's a lifestyle, it's a way of living. Music's just one part of it.
What is it?
See, in hip-hop, the vinyl's very important. You can't manually spin a CD. Without the vinyl, the DJ's dead. Years ago, the vinyl was very hard to find. You could only buy your hip-hop records only from a couple of stores. So nowadays, it's spread all throughout the city. Up these stairs is Next Level Records, a bit more than a normal record store, a place where Sydney hip-hop comes to meet.
You're at the Next Level Records in Sydney, and I'm Dr. Fibes. I run the Next Level. The Next Level is unique in as much as you're able to breakdance here on the weekends. We have the freestyle sessions for young MCs who are learning their skills of trade, learning how to be an MC. Even show your DJ skills behind the decks at the freestyle sessions. If you haven't been here before, we sell graffiti magazines, we sell vinyl, we sell CDs, tapes, and magazines that explain and give you an understanding of hip-hop culture. Well, from responses that I've had from my customers from all around the world, I believe that there isn't actually a shop anywhere in the world where you actually can breakdance and where there's regular freestyle sessions in store. There's no pressure for anyone to buy anything. Just come and vibe and check it out, you know, and support local acts as well as what's happening overseas.
The hip-hop rocks, the b-boy blocks. I pull right back and shoot my slingshot cause the hip-hop rocks, the b-boy blocks. I pull right back and shoot my slingshot.
I'm Mystery and I'm a graffiti writer, but also I rap with a group called Brethren. This is Wisdom, the other MC in Brethren. There's two of us.
Reaching like waves on a beach with my speech, plus I land upon my feet as if I was born for each.
We're trying to speak about what we know, which is, you know, our suburbs, where we live, and we're both from different nationalities, so we try and portray that as another element of Sydney that we've got, which is the multicultural aspect. Also, both of us are Christians as well, so we always have elements of like spirituality and stuff like that in our rhymes as well.
Well, my MC style is more like storytelling and also like constructed like rhythmic patterns, whereas Mystery is more like abrupt and unpredictable.
Hip-hop is untamed expression, an MC confession, the DJ obsession.
I went overseas through Europe and America and Africa and stuff like that, and it's good to see that in each different country, although we started off with the American roots, we've all got our own styles now, and there's a developing underground, and the underground is real unified. Like, it's like an international mafia, I reckon.
Dating back to the days of Belshazzar, son of the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, archaeologically uncovered in the city of Pompeii. Graffiti display relevance to the spray paint culture of hip-hop today. Aerosol artistry in its own genre, bombing the system and getting up, we hit them at all city aliens, the craziest non-profit organization, destination creation, masterpieces we release, letter forms we tame and manipulate, code the message with a wild style, camouflage and distort the color scheme, painting walls or trains, mark the stains with an anonymous fame just from writing my name. I spray, therefore I am autographing artistic contraband.
The run that I did for this documentary was about the history of graffiti and aerosol art, and as a letter form, tracing it back to the book of Daniel in the Bible, where it's in Daniel chapter 5, where it talks about God writing on the temple wall of Babylon.
Archaeologically uncovered in the city of Pompeii.
It goes into Pompeii, where archaeologists found the words written on the edifices, and they got the word graffiti from that, which is graffito or graffiere in Italian, I think, or Latin.
Aerosol artistry in its own genre.
Graffiti art, or aerosol art, as you probably know from seeing the rest of this thing, is one of the elements of hip-hop. It's the visual art form. It's like the equivalent of the fine arts with painting and drawing and stuff like that. It's really about the letter form and the manipulation of the letter form.
Government and big businesses have a lot of money for their advertising. And when writers are bombing the system with their art, basically they're putting up their own billboards. You may know it as graffiti. I know it as writing my name. All my thoughts and emotions, I let it out through my pieces on the wall.
I feel confident if my name is everywhere I go, like it's my area. Do you understand what I mean? I feel at home, I feel comfortable in my surroundings. And if I'm in an area where my name isn't there, I feel as though I'm in a foreign place and I'm out of place. Like if I'm in another suburb where I've got nothing there, I'll feel weird and I feel like I'll have to conquer the area before I feel comfortable. When things go bad, it's the thing that I can always turn to, that I enjoy and that makes me calm, you know. It's just something that's in my soul that every time I sit there and draw or I paint, it's hard to explain. It's like almost a drug in a sense. Most people, when you talk about graffiti, like straight older people, they think there's just tags, you know, on walls or people writing, Joe was here in '96. There's more than that to it. Well, the tag is more or less just your name that you go by, like a nickname. A piece is a painting, more or less like from the term masterpiece. A throw up is just a quick name, more or less like a large version of a tag to get your name up quicker so it's seen by more people. A panel is a piece done on a train, a small piece.
What is it?
So I think there should be another word for graffiti because it doesn't really express what it is to some people. You're more or less changing the alphabet. You're creating more or less like a sign writer or a calligraphy writer. You're changing the letters and manipulating them to the way you want. Like more or less, that's what makes every person's style unique to them, because it's like a fingerprint. Everyone's style is different to the next person. You know, in the old days it seemed to be more of a working class art form, but now you've got the legal aspect of it. Well, then all the yuppies and the middle class kids and that are going to come because they think it's cool, you know. They're going to come into it because they don't have to do anything illegal, so they don't have to risk, you know, getting in trouble from mummy and daddy. Like in the old days, we never had the choice of doing legal pieces. It was either do illegal pieces or do nothing. I can't honestly see myself stopping because it's the only thing that keeps me sane, and it's like I said, it's more like a hobby to me. I don't consider it like a crime or I'm doing anything against the community that's bad. Or to me, like, I go out and do legal pieces of my own free will, of my own paint, and I beautify the area. Like, to me, I'm doing the community a favour, if anything. The police want to lock you up for that.
Getting busted for graffiti, you can receive heavy fines, even go to prison. Me, myself, I went down pretty hard. For the newer generation, there's more cops and more laws. So to be a graffiti writer, you must be dedicated.
Mainstream society can get fucked. I use graffiti. It's a form of escape for me. It's a form of self-expression. You see a train sitting still for more than 2 seconds, you're on it, you know? Fuck, if you got some implement, a pen, a rock you can scratch in a fucking window, you're up, mate. You want to leave your name there. Fucking someone's going to see it. You do one tag, one person sees it, it's done its job. Everyone knows the go. I love it, mate. You know, I'm there to rush, you get smashed off paint, you look up the fucking layup, there's boys, you know, it looks like a discotheque with all smoke fucking flaming everywhere. Boys are just running around everywhere, grabbing paint, fucking, it's sick, mate. You know, I've had some fuckwit tell me in the yard, you know, I've got ya. And he's still getting compensation payouts from fucking SRA dickheads, man. No one can stop graffiti, man. It's in your face forever. I can do graffiti in the book, I can do graffiti anywhere. I can fucking sit there on a fucking toilet wall, I can drop tags, or I can go out and fucking paint a train. I can do a rooftop, I can go drains, I can go walls, legal walls. I can do anything, mate. Do run-ups on buses and trucks and trains, planes, mate, I don't care. I've had fuckwits come up to me and go, I like this stuff, but I don't like the scribble. Mate, if you're gonna like this, you gotta look at fucking tagging and take everything, because it's all part of one thing, mate. You can't take one element of it and say, yeah, I like this bit, not that, you know?
Get the fuck out of here!
People may not be able to read what that says, man, but they can fucking make their own opinion about it. You know, fair enough, they don't like it. They can fuck off and go home, mate. I don't give a fuck.
15 years non-stop hip-hop, and you thought it was just a fad.